episode of RatG TV with your hosts, Zeus and the Wellandwingnut. And they thought I was the crazy one.
Black magic. You got to know, got to show, it's time to roll. So just tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you want, so just tell me what you want to hear.
Welcome back to another edition of RatG TV. It's your boy Zeus here. And as usual, with me, as he is week to week, my best bud and your best bud, the Wellandwingnut. How's it going, Steve?
What's up, man? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Happy day before Fool's Day. It is the day before Fool's. Is there a name for that? You know how like there's Devil's Night? Is there
I guess Fool's Eve. I don't know.
Like, is there a precursor to this Day of Fools? And is it named after you and I? I pity the fool. Me too, brother. Me too. Most definitely. Because tomorrow is April Fool's Day, and we are coming at you a day early. I have to work tomorrow. We will play the show again tomorrow, though, for you. But Steve and I are ranking our favorite fools or buffoons, or, well, I mean, to put it a better way.
Son, you don't have bad luck. The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
Yeah, dumbasses. So this is going to be about our favorite fictional dumbasses from pop culture, whether it be movies, TV, cartoons, comics, what have you. And yeah, let us know what you guys are thinking in the comments as well. We'll love to hear from you. And there's a lot of dumbasses out there, buddy.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't do a show of fools without the main ingredient.
Which is us?
The main ingredient.
Oh.
Everybody plays the fool sometimes. It may be factual.
Listen, baby. Everybody plays a fool. Why'd you have to get me going?
Including us.
Yeah, awesome. You know what's funny is I was looking at that and I thought it was some kind of photo from, oh my God, what was that show? Full House, not Full House, the one with Urkel. It looks like Urkel behind your head. That looks like Jaleel White.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. To this side, yes.
Right
yes,
there.
it definitely does. It definitely does. Oh,
what is?
I can't unsee that now.
Well, I mean, and I'm thinking, what did Jaleel?
I mean, what if is that acceptable?
No. No. You look great, buddy. You look good. The afro looks nice on you. And you are my honorary brother, so you are invited to the cookout.
Right on.
I'll let you come. I don't know if I'm invited though.
Hey, pendejos!
Hey, pendejos! Don't say that. Even at my cookout. So, folks, today our show, as usual, brought to you by DocNet, DocNet.ca. If you're looking for internet anywhere in Ontario or across Canada, go over to DocNet.ca and give them a call and say, "Hey, yo, I want to save some money," and Tony will get you hooked up. But Steve, before we get to the thing, you also have your 5-second movie review this week. Yes. And what is on tap?
I was going to do Murder Mystery 2, but I did not get a chance to watch it today. So I'm going to do the Hulu exclusive, The Boston Strangler, starring Keira Knightley, as we see her in the photo here.
I've heard a lot of good things about this movie. We won't get any spoilers from you yet before you give your review. We'll save that for after on. But these we're seeing a lot of these made now, like about these recreations of murder mysteries and serial killers.
And I don't think this one is much of a spoiler, but this is retold through the eyes of a reporter.
Okay.
a female reporter at the time, which was even rare. You know what I mean? Because she was actually on like, lifestyle or stuff like that, writing those kind of columns, and she wanted the big story, So that's kind of what this story follows as the Boston Strangler reigned terror.
Man, and he wasn't the only one reigning terror by the sounds of it. All right. Well, looking forward to that. We also have some news. Lots in the news this week, folks. So stick around for that. We do have our TikTokers of the week. And I think I only got the one of them up right now. I was going to put a second one up. But let's just get the first one out of the way for now.
Why does Dr. Pepper come in a bottle?
Oh, this sounds yuck already.
Because his wife died.
What? Because he's what?
His wife died.
Nice.
Is that okay?
That's fine. Where's that line again? that was really good. Great. Why'd you store that up till now?
So we got the TikToker of the week out of the way right away. I want to say I'm sorry.
No.
Not.
Some things you just don't apologize for.
Right. Unlike my post earlier today, but we'll leave that one over. Anyways, we may get into that one day, but today's probably not the day for that. Luke knows what we're talking about, don't you, Luke? And new undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39 Part 2 by Sammy and Kevin and Jay and Jimmy. Yeah, well, we will see. We'll definitely be talking some WrestleMania. It is WrestleMania weekend. I dig it. It is 2 nights. It'll be Saturday night and Sunday night. 2 huge main events. But we'll get into that a little bit later, Matthew. But thanks for joining in, my friend. Like seeing you there and hearing from you. But Steve, why don't you do what you do? Get us started. Tell me about your top 5 dumbass. I mean, goofball. You know what I mean. Just show me the dumbass.
I have these labeled wrong here.
And hello, Christy, if you're watching. Hello.
Some real time here.
Rich Vissy and a whole bunch of other people that are watching and giving us likes. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, man. All right. Whoops. There. Now I'm good.
Now you're good.
Yeah, I'm good. All right. Yeah. You know what? I mean, it's me, so I'm not surprised. But when you brought up this, the idea for this list, really, the first fool that popped in my head, you can't do a top 5 fools without fool from People Under the Stairs.
Yeah. See, you put the picture up, and I'm like, I know this kid from another movie, but not that movie.
Yeah.
Like, was he in the Mighty Ducks, or was he in?
He was in Mighty Ducks. Yes.
Yes,
His name is I thought it Brandon Quinton Adams.
Yeah. So I'm like, was he really the idiot in Mighty Ducks? I kept thinking to myself.
Yeah,
But no,
that's cool.
yeah, it's great. Hey, Kathy, or Christy? I'm sorry, Christy. And what happened to the last CWF event that I missed? I missed it too, buddy. I was shooting a movie that day and I couldn't make it. So, but I heard it was a great event, and I heard it was a great main event as per usual. Number 4. Now, this is what I thought was going to be your number 5, or would have been your number 1, I should say.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these could have been my number 1. All respect to Fool. I kind of just threw him in there to kind of fool you, thinking you'd be like,
you did.
But yeah, my next 4 definitely all could be my number 1. And no matter how you felt about the second movie, everybody loved Dumb and Dumber. I mean, Harry and Lloyd. That first outing. I liked the second one. The second one had its moments, but the first one, that's just a classic.
Now, when you say everyone,
yeah, I mean the collective everyone.
Right. I know someone who might not have. He probably didn't like white chicks either, though.
Right.
Or Ace Ventura.
But I think you'd have to admit they were fools.
Right. Oh, they were some big fools.
Even if you're talking about Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels for doing the movie.
But I love Jeff Daniels.
Yeah, me too.
Just not in this role. It was very nice.
It was very nice, and I love Borat. I love Sacha Baron Cohen. I've been watching since the beginning. I was watching the RatG show.
Yeah, you were.
I loved Who Is America. Oh my God! If you have not seen Sacha Baron Cohen's Who Is America, I don't know how he gets these people to do this shit, man. But Borat was awesome. I love these movies.
He's very nice.
It's very nice, and I love that. Kazakhstan was pretty upset when these movies first came out, or when the character first came out. And I love how far it's come, because I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, and we may have even talked about this, but Tourism Kazakhstan actually put out the ad, come to Kazakhstan. It's very nice.
I like that.
I like that they've embraced it. And
nice. We should have shared that commercial right now. If we had it, but we don't. It seemed weird because it felt like I was just.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry.
So to put a Canadian spin on this, a story I heard this week, or late last week maybe. Tourism Regina was looking at rebranding their Regina, Saskatchewan, and they had people submit a bunch of suggestions, and they posted like 5 that they wanted the community to vote on, and 2 of them have since been removed, but one was show us your Regina. And the other one was come to Regina, the city that rhymes with fun.
Now, see that though? I would keep that because that's straight out of Deadpool. Like the first Deadpool movie, he said, here comes the kicker, Wade Wilson, straight out of Regina, Saskatchewan. And we all know Regina rhymes with fun. That they should have kept. They should have. I don't mean that should have been what they went with, but it should have been eliminated. Yeah. I get to show us your Regina, but I mean, is it any worse than the Regina Pete's?
No.
I want to say we're sorry. We are not.
So, but my number 2, pretty big fool, Bill Murray, again, despite how you feel about him, I mean, you got to admit, Carl Speckler was a pretty big fool.
Yeah, he was. I can't do it. I look like I'm fortunate.
Yeah,
I'm talking normally.
When was the last time you watched Caddyshack?
Oh, damn. I want to say it's been within 10 years. Yeah. I feel like I watched it within the last 10 years.
Do you find that, no disrespect to Caddyshack at all, but do you find that this movie has aged a lot like maybe Slapshot has aged, in where it's fun, there's funny moments, but is it a funny movie?
Slapshot, I still really can still watch.
Yeah,
watch the whole movie. Like I know I've done that within the last 3 or 4 years.
But it is long.
It is long. But it isn't as funny as you think it is, because it's a dramatic movie with a lot of comedy beats in it.
Right.
Caddyshack felt like, so here's the thing. I've never been a huge Saturday Night Live fan. And that's what it felt like to me. One long skit was Caddyshack. And I love Caddyshack back in the day. But it's been a long time. I don't know if I would still love it watching it today.
Yeah. I might even argue that Caddyshack 2 may have been funnier.
Was that the one with Rodney? Or was Rodney in both?
I don't know if he was in the second one, but yeah, that one was with Randy Quaid, and
oh yeah, I don't think
the comic, late comic. Geez, what is his name? Jackie Mason.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah,
it was okay.
A little more wacky. They went for wacky in that one.
I would like to see, because we're talking about this nostalgia kick here. I think I would like to see a reboot, and I know we've seen reinventions of this movie, and they've called it other names, and you and I love when they do that.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to see an actual remake of either Smokey and the Bandit or Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
Because those were great movies that really could use an updated version. Oh my God, can we Listen, Vin Diesel, if you're watching, if you're going to do Fast and Furious 11, make it Cannonball Run. Just saying.
You get the Gumball Rally.
Every Fast and the Furious movie, you're bringing in more and more big name stars anyways. Why the fuck not just make it a big fucking rally race?
Yeah.
Just put
so
it
you're
up.
saying 2000, I don't know what year it was. I was going to try and fake it, but I have no idea. You're telling me Rat Race didn't make the cut for you? Didn't do it?
I love Rat Race. That was
I
what
do
I was
love
talking about. When I said there was others that did it without calling themselves that.
Even the part where Smash Mouth comes in at the end.
Dude, the Hitler family. The Hitler family's the best. John Lovitz's family. Like, they're not the Hitler family, but they turn into the Hitler family.
Yeah, you're almost waiting for John Biner to show up.
Dude, oh.
Speaking of fools,
let's get into your number one, because I like your number one here.
Yeah, my number one was my last minute replacement. We both had one similar, so I had some backups, and again, my top four, any of them could have been my number one, but this is a guy I grew up with. I liked Roper, but Furley was great.
Yeah, Furley was.
If you're old like us, you may remember him as like Barney Fife on Andy Griffin Show too.
Well, go away. Oh wait, no, that was the wrong guy. that was yeah, that was Jim
Neighbors.
Jim Neighbors. Sorry, there was a dragon coming out of my mouth. Jim Neighbors. I'll pity the fool. Me too. I like the list, buddy. I like the list. All right, let's move on here. We're gonna test our boundaries here. I was told that we're allowed to share 25 seconds from clips, so we're going to test that today. I'm gonna start with my number 5. Okay, let me just say before I get to actually I'll do it afterwards. I've got a bunch though. I was telling Steve some of the names that were on my list at a time, and I had like over 10, and I still could have went more. But starting off our list, number 5 for me, and maybe this is a little bit of recency biasy, but I love the Good Place. And one of the best people on that show was my boy Jason. I love you, girl. Not a girl. I don't know who was the bigger idiot, him or Janet, that he ended up falling in love with. But my boy Jason had some of the best lines.
But I know a little wisdom I can give you.
I know everything that happened in your life, and it was all stupid, so I highly doubt that.
I am here to learn about ethnics.
Did you watch that show at all?
I did, and I did really enjoy it, but I felt I didn't find it ended well.
Yeah, I found this is that one rare show that you almost think that it should have only been one season or 2 seasons.
2, yeah.
Yeah, because after the second season, after you finish that up, where do you go next? Because there was that huge big reveal at the end of the first season, and that's what happens in shows like that. And I would argue, I never watched it, but I would argue like shows like Lost, where you have that big reveal, and when you're waiting for it too long, I guess in that case. But yeah, writer's strike. I never had that problem. This was a problem. You and I did have the same picks. I should have let you had it because I didn't know it was your number 1 and it was going to be my number 4 here. But this is one of the biggest fools that I could think of when it comes to pop culture, and especially if you're our age. And this man just got the Mark Twain Award for comedy, I believe.
Yeah.
And well-deserved. American comedy.
Yeah.
Maybe the greatest all-around comedian of our generation. Like, and I'm saying, when I say that, I don't just mean stand-up. I mean comedy. Yeah. Comedy movies, his empire that he's done. We're talking about The Sandman, of course, Adam Sandler. But for me, it was his role as Billy Madison.
Shabadoo!
Shabadoo! Everybody's peeing their pants. That's what the cool kids do. For those
no gibberish at the table, Billy. Sorry, Daddy.
Sorry, Daddy. Maybe some of you have never seen it, but this is a little glimpse.
Don't you ever say that. Stay here. Stay as long as you can. For the love of God, cherish it.
Jennifer, why don't you try reading out loud for a minute, okay?
You gotta cherish it. You do.
That poor kid. Because you got to think that he improvised that whole scene in that because it was like, what the hell's going on?
I have a feeling they improvised most of that movie.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
The
writer's room,
love it any less.
The writer's room was just a pack of zigzags. I don't know. I don't think he actually smokes dope, but it's funny to say. Because I'm a fool too. Speaking of fools, let's keep it on moving and moving on up. In my list, oh my god, this was tough for me. Oh, you know what's funny is I put up an extra one here, and I don't think I have it on here. I put Billy up twice, and then we didn't adjust. I didn't adjust for it. My next one though, I didn't put it on there, but this one is a dumbass by the standards of he was the boss of this crew. And in this movie was a parody of one of the greatest franchises of all time. And he was playing one of the greatest villains of all time, or at least his alter ego. And he was a big fool, but he also had a bunch of assholes to work with.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Go!
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
So is your fool Colonel Sanders or Dark Helmet?
It's Dark Helmet. It's Dark Helmet for sure. I'm just saying, the toys, everything else.
Stop this thing now. We can't stop. You have to slow down first.
When will now be now?
So good.
When? Just now. So yeah, that was my number three. My number three. My number two, man, my top two. This was hard. I flip-flopped with these two here. But I had to go with number two. Maybe just because it's been so long and I felt like the viewers wouldn't remember her quite as much. But I mean, when it came to some of the biggest fools, especially the ones that, you loved, there wasn't many that were better than Rose Nyland from the Golden Girls, and played by obviously the iconic Betty White. And if anybody never saw, this is what you need.
Please forgive me. It wasn't my fault. My cousins have been marrying each other for generations. You know what he has under that trench coat? A wrench? That's what Mother called it. I think she's a Gurkhananakan.
Well, what exactly does that mean?
Literally, it's the precise moment when Dog Dude turns white. But in general, it refers to the kind of person you don't want to share your Hoogenkoggles with.
Rose, if you say one more of those stupid words,
so blow it out your tube and burbles.
Yes, blow it out your turban bubbles.
My son is 19 and he loved that show.
I mean, how could you not love that show? I wonder how many people though love that show due to Ryan Reynolds, because Ryan Reynolds references that show in so many different mediums that he's in. Shows, movies, social media. I don't know. Deadpool has a weird, hard on for B. Arthur. Just saying. It's a thing. It is a thing. And my number one, just weird. I don't have, I do. I do have a clip for this. And instead of just, waxing poetic by why this person is my number one, I'll just show you.
Who the devil are you?
Don't panic. Just come up with a good story.
My name is Mr. Burns.
Dad may have gained a little weight, but he's not some kind of food-crazed maniac.
Oh, the raspberry.
The best is that I could see you like reacting to these as they're playing.
You know what? The one I always think back to is when Homer has a stroke and he's driving down the street and he sees people rowing, and then he sees something else. And he's just like, "Stop mocking me." Or no, was that Peter Griffin? I mixed the two up.
I think that's Family Guy.
That was Peter Griffin.
Yeah.
The two just blend together now. They've
Right.
been on forever.
Well, you know what though? I stopped watching Family Guy early on.
Remember that time Stewie shot Mr. Burns and we had to wait all summer to find out that?
Yeah, that was weird. Remember that time when Meg was babysitting Maggie and Homer dropped her off and grabbed the gummy bear off her ass? Stupid Meg. Shut up,
Meg.
We're so not cool. Why are you people watching us? Really? Though? That's my question. There's so many of you just sitting around there watching this.
I mean, this is my reason.
Like, really?
This is why I'm laughing.
Yeah, this is mine. The last bit of tequila. Damn it. We have a comment. My fave would be Steve Carell as Michael Scott. Oh, Michael Scott's a great one. So I almost added Michael Scott. Here's my list. I had Michael Scott as well. I had Archer from Archer, Billy Madison, Phoebe, Joey. Joey almost made the list. That was a tough one. Wayne and Garth both. Alan from The Hangover. Anthony Stoner from Cheech and Chong. Forrest Gump, like kind of the biggest fool of all. But I felt like I'd be picking on him, though, really. Homer, Jason, Kelso, and and Rose. I feel bad. I want to change my pick to Rose as number one. Thank you, Jill. I think that Steve and I are both funny looking as well. As I reach for the low-hanging fruit there. That's why we get paid the $0. All right. So as we mentioned, we do have Steve's 5-second movie review coming up as well. Before we get to that and your review of the movie The Boston Strangler, starring Keira Knightley, I just want to remind folks, if you are living in Ontario or if you're living in Canada, but Ontario specifically, and you're looking to save a little bit of money this year, do yourself a favor. One of the best places where you could save money and cut corners is cut the cable line, cut the internet line, stop paying the big prices at the big name companies and getting the same service you're getting everywhere else. Go to docnet.ca, save yourself $1. You see it over Steve's head over there. Go to docnet.ca, tell him RatG TV, Zeus, and the Wellandwingnut sent you, and have Tony set you up in style. Have docnet.ca connect your home to the world. And Steve's not pointing to Urkel's afro there.
No. Oh,
man. I did this commercial this week, right? Where I was playing a grandfather, and I was playing at the different stages of my grandson's life, from birth to his marriage, basically. And I so wanted them to give me an afro, and they could not at any point. I'm like, please, let me just rock an afro one more time.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. That would have been awesome.
For real, though, right?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? So we've known each other since we were kids. I've had fros, but I've never had fros like right behind you. Mine were kind of all out of the place, or I had the tight like kid and play type shit. Because I grew up in a white city. We didn't have anybody who knew how to cut black hair. My barber literally said it's just like shaving a sheep. That's what he would say. But now, I mean, I think I could have that shit tight. Oh, but when I first met Angie, my ex-wife, on our first date, she shaved my head. And I always tell the story about how it never grew back right here. But before she shaved it out, I actually picked it out for the very first time in my life. And that tight little hair that I had went to Urkel right behind you there.
I can't unsee it now.
The Urkel? Me neither. It does not look like anything but him. And if they ever make the movie about this group, Urkel better be in it. I'm just putting it out there, and I better get credit for
it. Right?
Right? That was a really long story for no point. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyways, so Steve, you're our guy. You're that movie guy. You got a movie for us. I hear a phone ringing. Did I?
Yeah. That's fine.
Am I stroking out? I'm having a stroke.
Post.
That's a seizure.
Oh, right.
Oh, wait. Before we get to your movie, I need to know, just because I hear a Facebook user there, what the fuck were you watching earlier before the show started where you were losing your mind laughing?
Crazy Stupid Love. It's hilarious.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cute. Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know what that is.
And you know the best part is Ryan Gosling takes his shirt off in it.
There you go.
And he's
well, he is a dreamy Canadian.
He looks photoshopped in real life. Oh yeah.
He's
right. He's right in his top list there, man. Huh?
I said he's the third best Ryan in Canada.
He's before Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. And
you're the third?
No, I'm first. All right. You know what? Let's just sing the song. It's time for Steve's 5 second movie review by Steve. It's him. Oh, my camera's all messed up now. It's not inverted anymore. All right. So, folks, if you've never seen the show before and you're still sitting here, I'm sorry. But this is Steve's 5 second movie review. And we use the best technology in the world. As you can see by my backdrop here and my green screen. But with that, we are going to take our best technology and put 5 seconds on the board. And in that 5 seconds, Steve is going to give us his unadulterated review of the movie, The Boston Strangler.
All right.
Steve, are you ready?
I'm ready.
5 seconds are on the board. You may begin now.
It was good. 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 It was really good. It was good.
I tap. Oh my God. You triggered like 3 of my last dates. All right. So I hear it was good.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I kind of said at the top of the show, though, if you don't know the premise, this was kind of told from the story of a young reporter trying to make her name and get out of the lifestyle section and hit the hard stories. And I don't know how much of the story was true about the reporter or if this was complete fiction for the Hulu original, but very true to the story of the Boston Strangler. If you're not familiar with the story. One guy was actually arrested and charged with the crimes. DNA actually in like 2009, I'm going to say, maybe even the 2020 teens proved that he was definitely guilty of at least one of the murders. But they definitely think that there was copycat killers during this reign of terror on the city of Boston. And it was a really good movie. Keira Knightley was great in it. I don't get to say that too often.
No, not really.
She's a good actor. I'm not a fan of her movie choices usually.
This was good. This was like
I
this
agree.
was like
I
just
agree.
to her.
I agree. I think
She's
she
good
is
at
a
this.
great actress who makes some questionable choices. But you know what movie blew me away? Have you ever seen Domino?
I haven't.
Where it's based on a true story, and she's like a female bounty hunter. It's pretty fucking over the top, but she's fantastic in it. And every time I see her in anything, I'm just like, she'll be in the shittiest movies, and I'm like, oh my god, why is she wasting her talent on this? You know, but yeah,
no, she was fantastic in this. As to use a phrase,
Kurt says best review ever.
I mean, anytime you get to see a Bengals fan choked out, right? It's probably a good time for Kurt. So
we're also getting a message from Kane Hodder, who's giving it a thumbs up. See that?
Yeah, you know what? I really, I give it at least a 4.5 out of 5. It was that good. It was that good.
Couldn't stop watching it.
Damn.
It had me right to the very last second. Like I was.
Dude, well that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that, because I don't know if I'll watch it to be honest, just because it's me. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not it is. There's some brutal stuff. It's not big on the murders, like I said.
I'm not worried about brutal. You know what it is with brutal? I find I don't like brutal when I'm invested. Like if I'm invested in a character and then there's brutality there, then I'm like, oh shit. But if it's like a worker drone, I'm kind of okay. I don't know if that's right or not, but
stormtroopers.
Oh my god. Please, dude, start watching the cartoons, please. Because but they're starting to blend. Did you see this week's Mandalorian?
I did.
Oh yeah.
Did you see the beginning? Zeb was there. That dude was from fucking Star Wars Rebels. Like, that's a main character. They're bringing everybody. Ahsoka's there. Thrawn's coming. Like, there's so much. Oh my god. I should not be the one out of the two of us that is jizzing all over the place for this stuff. It's so insane. Bad Batch this week was 10 times better than the Mandalorian this week. And Mandalorian this week was still good. It may have been the best Mandalorian episode of the series.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It was pretty
And Bad Batch was better. Like, they're both the shit they're setting up, and they're not retconning, but they're tying up all the loose ends, it seems, for the sequel movies, for The Force Awakens, for The Last Jedi. They're connecting the dots and saying, okay, for everyone who's crying about how did this happen and how did that happen, they're doing all that between the Mandalorian and between the Bad Batch right now. And oh my god, so I'm okay though. I digress. USA, as they say. Bad Boys is coming again though, eh? Told you that.
Yeah.
They're moving ahead though after the slapping. That's a thing. Whatever. People talk like that when they're talking about news, and we should talk about news. That was a pretty deadly segue, eh?
It was.
So
that was too.
We have a question from the audience.
So when you
Let's
said
hear it.
when you said jizzle over, is like that with your penis fingers, you mean?
Wait, what?
You said jizzing all over this. I'm like, with your penis fingers.
It's a throwback to an episode a few weeks ago. So
yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I tried to forget too.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
You really that drunk during that episode?
Yeah. I gotta say at least 3 or 4 episodes ago.
Okay. All right.
Oh, it was last week.
I don't know.
You sure it was? I may have been referencing Everywhere, Everything, All at Once. and their hot dog fingers. And all right, we need to move on. You know what?
You're killing it.
You're killing it, Dr. Death. It is that time of week again where the Grim Reaper himself, the Wellandwingnut, lets us know of all the passings that we've had in the world of pop culture. And this week is no different, eh?
No, again, I say this on repeat every week. It rarely is. And you know, at the sad young age of 43, son of composer Andrew Lloyd Webber, his son was also a composer, Nick, had died of gastric cancer. He was Grammy-nominated composer, the eldest son of the great Andrew Lloyd Webber, as you see on his right there.
Wow, man. 43, eh?
43, yeah. And then from the music world, we stay, you know, if you're a Tom Petty fan, if you're a Mike Campbell fan from the Heartbreakers, you might know this guy from Petty's and Mike's first band, Mudcrutch, lead singer Tom Leadon, at the age of 70 years old, no cause of death.
Have you ever seen him play?
I've never seen him play, no. Yeah, Mike Campbell was in the Heartbreakers, and obviously Tom Petty in the Heartbreakers, so yeah. I think they're actually getting back together, or did get back together to play some limited shows recently, I'm going to say. Because I know Mike's been playing with, he was playing with, Stevie Nicks' band, Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah. Fleetwood, yeah.
Yeah, he had been playing with Fleetwood Mac since Petty's death.
Well, I mean, that sucks, but man, how old was he?
He was 70, yeah.
That's
actually Mike Campbell's getting back together the Dirty Knobs. If you're a Mike Campbell fan, check out look out for those dates.
The Dirty Knobs, huh? Why is that a thing? And who is Mike Campbell, and why do I think of Wayne Campbell instead? Wayne and Garth. All right, I guess that was a thing. You know what? That's not the only thing that has died. I don't know if this is the death knell of E3, the big video game conference that we've all us gamers have come to know and love and anticipate every year. I think it was first PS dropped out, then Xbox and Microsoft dropped out, and then Naughty Dog and bunch of other game companies dropped out, and it was only a matter of time. And E3 2023, never mind, is officially canceled as well. Bad graphic there, but 2023 is definitely canceled as well.
We've been holding on to the story for a while.
We haven't. No,
we broke it over a year ago.
No, it's been canceled. It's been This is the show was set to return in person in Los Angeles for the first time since 2019, but it's been called off after huge gaming companies, like I said, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Ubisoft all said they wouldn't be participating in the event. This is from The Verge. They say E23 was scheduled for June 13th through the 16th with a mix of industry-focused days and days that would be open to the public, but in the lead up to June, there had been some worrying signs that things might be rocky for E3's revival. So, according to IGN, they said it simply did not garner the sustained interest necessary to execute it in a way that would showcase the size, strength, and impact of our industry. To that, we say, it was good knowing E3, much like G4 television. It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, and it's not like we're not going to get these huge announcements anymore. We just won't get them,
but
collectively like that.
Are we? Yeah, you say not getting it collectively. Are we moving to the point now where it's just going to be a PlayStation event, Xbox event, just Ubisoft, an EA event? You know, I don't know if that works better. Like, that's not better for the fans. It's definitely not better for the fans. But I wonder if this is. Are we going to see this move on to things like Comic-Con in San Diego, where they're like, you know what? This year, Marvel's not going to be there. Disney's not going to be there because we've got D3 anyways, or D23. We got our Disney event. Fucking Warner Brothers will do their event. So, yeah, it makes you wonder the ripple effect we'll have there, or butterfly effect, if you will. Yeah, man. I mean, that's the way it goes. And if you want it, E3's problem was they didn't keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
That's a segue.
Is it?
Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. You never heard that?
No, I never heard that one before.
What?
Never heard that.
Mrs. Farnsworth taught us that one.
Oh, I must have been sick that day.
I think that was one she said to us multiple times.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't remember ever hearing that.
Really? No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, there you go, brother. The more you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiss in the news a lot lately. They announced their final dates. Right. Finishing in New York City in November, I believe, at Madison Square Gardens. Paul Stanley, they've been out, promoting stuff, and Paul Stanley was in an interview when asked about the Hall of Fame induction and the controversy over Bruce Kulick and Eric Singer, not being nominated over Chris and Freely, who these guys were actually ended up being in the band longer. He said that the induction would have been more like inducting piss rather than Kiss. Ace, a couple days ago, came out into the news and said he's giving them 7 days to make a public apology and retract his comments. Otherwise, his lawyer has some files in a locked box that even if something happens to Ace, will be released to the press, and it will ruin Gene and Paul Stanley.
The fact that he says that even if something should happen to me speaks volumes of who Gene Simmons is.
Yeah. I mean, Ace has never been one to pull punches since his exit from the band. He's definitely been the more vocal one as opposed to Peter. But man, we can only speculate, and we won't speculate on this show because our speculation is we don't want to get sued.
Wait, it was Eric that died from AIDS? Or I don't know if it was AIDS in particular.
I'm not sure.
But Eric, which one died? Peter Criss is still alive?
Peter Criss is still alive. Ace Frehley is still alive. But then there was
Eric Carr then that died.
Eric Carr, you're right. Yeah, that's
I think he died of I think it was AIDS.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I'm not positive, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all the power in the world to you, Ace. Sounds like he's got some juicy shit there. And it also sounds like no matter what at this point, that's just going to come to light at some point.
Yeah.
When he passes, that's going to come out. So, and they're what, in their 80s?
Yeah. I mean, or we'll all end up being fools.
I've been a fool. Bunch of dumbasses. We didn't finish putting these stories in order. So, I'll just move on to, hey, why not? Let's talk about, did you ever watch the original Scott Pilgrim?
I didn't.
No. Oh, eh? I mean, I don't know if that would be your thing though, right? Either though. I mean, it's not even superhero comic books. It's anime comic books.
You know what? For years, I had no idea that's even what it was.
Oh, yeah. It was a comic book.
Yeah.
Written by a Canadian though. And it just kind
that's
of.
Right. I actually did recently know that.
Well, they're announced with Netflix that they are making a Scott Pilgrim anime, and it will have all the original voice actors back playing their roles. And these are some big name actors now that weren't really that big back in the day. I mean, Chris Evans, of course, Michael Cera. Mary Elizabeth Winstrom, Brad Routh, the guy in the middle there that looks like Howard from Big Bang Theory. So, yeah, I mean, it could be good.
Yeah. I mean, it's great when you get all the voices.
Right? And that's a good thing about something like that. When you do a cartoon afterwards, if you can just get the same voices, it's easy for them. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to work out, get back in shape, or really do much more than show up in jogging pants. And all right, let's do this. I like it. All right, we should have planned this a little bit better, but
That's all right.
I don't know what the next story is, but I hope this isn't a spoiler because I haven't finished the series yet.
This is not a spoiler.
Okay. And if it is, I will plug my ears.
No, not a spoiler. Last of Us, if you didn't know, filmed north of the border, mostly in Alberta. Season 2 will also stay north of the border, but they are going to be setting up shop in Vancouver this time.
Of course. The dreamland. One day I will move there.
You could be dead guy number 2.
I would not. It would be survivor number 6. Probably not. I would already be a spore. A clicker. Have you finished the series?
I did finish season 1, yeah.
Did you like it?
I did.
Yeah. So the one thing that I have noticed about it, and I think I only have 2 episodes left to go. It's not as gory as the game or anywhere near it. Like, I mean, it's as intense and they have the same amount of deaths. Well, not the same amount of deaths because I die like a million times on that game. But every time something happens, for the most part, the camera pans away. You never see any of it. Like when Rose from 2.5 Men, when she dies, you don't really see it. You see the fucking zombie, for lack of better terms, jump on her, and the camera pans away. That's how almost all the deaths occur, even when Tess died. So, I don't know. I hear it gets a little bit more, but just saying. I sat through the gate. I sat through the Red Wedding, and this hasn't even come close yet. But season 2, oh my God, I know what's coming. I'll be fine. I will be okay. Speaking of season 2, or let's just speak 2s, WrestleMania. We talked to Matt Armstrong about it earlier. It is a 2-night event, which is happening Saturday and Sunday. I like this better. They were getting to be 6 to 7 hour long nights for WrestleMania. I think this is the best bet. If it's going to be that big, make it over 2 nights, cut that at kind of like 3 hours tops, both nights, and you can sit through that. We got on ESPN First Take. They announced the cards for both nights. And here's a look at the cards. So first night, starting Saturday night, the main event's going to be John Cena. That's right. John Cena is back again. And he's taking on Austin Theory, who is supposedly the next John Cena. We'll see about that. Charlotte Flair, who you hear me talk about all the time, who I think is one of the best wrestlers in the world, is taking on Rhea Ripley, who is just a beast of a wrestler herself. We've got the Usos taking on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. We got Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus. That's right. More of the 90s coming back, folks. So they're taking on Damage Control. Seth freaking Rollins is taking on the surprisingly good Logan Paul. Logan Paul took to wrestling so well. And he's done the one thing that I was saying he needed to do. And he's embracing being a heel because everybody fucking hates that guy. And that was the best bet to do. Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is fighting his fucking son, Dominic Mysterio. And then we've got basically a throwaway match here, and Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy and the Viking Raiders. Sunday night, the big night. We got the big
Hey,
dog.
if I can just interject really quick, I hope you get
go
a
ahead.
chance to do a panel for that last match and you introduce them as such.
Which they would kill me. That was over as well as the time that I introduced
Right.
the Brooklyn Brawler as the greatest jobber of all time. Can we just talk about the jobber thing though? Why is that considered a bad thing? Because a jobber is someone who can get people over and make people look good. And you get booked all the fucking time. You know who I remember? I remember Barry Horowitz's name. I remember Iron Mark Sharp's name. I remember fucking the Brooklyn Brawler. Like, have some pride in being a fucking jobber, because there are no jobbers anymore. Just saying. Anyways, night 2. I had my glasses on because I can't read this shit. Roman Reigns, the head of the table, is taking on Cody Rhodes. Roman Reigns is going to lose tonight. He's the longest reigning heavyweight champ. Cody Rhodes started AEW, which is the big rival company, left that company and is now back. And I think Roman Reigns is going to try to get into acting. He's been, I think, the champ well over almost 2 years now. And he's beat everybody there is to beat. I don't think it'll be a clean win for Cody. I think like Roman will try to cheat and then it'll backfire on him somehow. And Cody will get the belt. And then we won't see Roman for about a year or so as he pursues acting with his cousin, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
You think you need glasses? You don't even want to know what I think one of these matches say.
Oh, please tell me which one. Please tell me which one.
Oh,
wait till I get to it and then tell me what you thought it said.
I'm not repeating that.
Is it bad as is it worse than the fucking Peter Dinklage?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, wow. That was pretty bad. All right. Bianca Belair. The EST is taking on Asuka. That's going to be a pretty dope match. But I do worry, though, the few times I've watched those two wrestle in a match, they don't seem to feel each other out very well. And when it comes to wrestling, good wrestling match has got to be like good dancing partners. If they can work really well off of each other and sell the shit, it looks great. But I see a lot of times with those two, they're kind of and not too sure of themselves. So yeah, that could either be great if they get over it, or it could be kind of a snore fest. Then we got Gunther. This dude is a fucking beast, taking on Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. And that's just going to be a fucking brawl. There's not going to be much wrestling to this at all. I think we're going to... So in the wrestling business, they call it stiffing someone. Or like when you hit somebody and you put real like power into it, it's like stiffing. I think you're going to see a lot of that in that match because every single one of those guys love to inflict pain and they love to take it. So they're the ones that are like, yeah, don't... If you're going to punch me, really punch me sort of thing. They're those guys. Then you got Edge, another old timer, taking on Finn Balor. You got Brock Lesnar taking on the Monster Omos. And then you've got another kind of throwaway match. I'm sorry, ladies. But it's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Shona Deville and Chelsea Green. It's both matches that I said were throwaway matches are 4-way tag team matches. So that's a lot.
Unless one of the killer bees is hiding under the mat.
Right. I'm just saying. You know me. I'll be watching, but will you be watching any of it, or are you just going to be watching XFL tomorrow?
There's definitely a couple of matches that I'd be interested in checking out for sure. Will I probably watch it? No.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I'll send you the links afterwards. That's what I do.
I like my wrestling like I like my NASCAR now. I like it in 5 minutes and with some guy with an annoying voice narrating it to me.
Me. Me. That's who I am. And I do have an annoying voice, but not as bad as, like, say, Patton Oswalt. No, I'm just kidding. I actually.
Oh, shots.
I love Patton Oswalt. I love his voice. I'm just trying to get a segue in.
Yeah, and you weren't going to make fun of the other guy's voice.
Well, because then I would have to say his name, and I love him as an actor, but I will butcher his name.
Yeah. We just found out that being added to the cast of the new Ghostbusters sequel will be Kumail Nanjiani and Patton Oswalt.
Nice. Yeah, I love both these guys. They're both great. Kunal's amazing. I've been following Kunal since he was on this show called Franklin and Bash.
I'm gonna profess my love for Kunal as well. I love everything he does. Usually, I love listening to him when he's a guest on podcasts. He's always got great stories to tell. Patton, I love Patton. I recently heard a story about Patton, and I hope it's not completely true because it was one of those celebrity disappointment stories. You kind of hear, and I get a lot of these times like, these things can be situational and whatever. We don't know all the facts, but yeah, you hate to hear stuff like that.
I just always wait to hear more facts when it comes to shit.
Right.
Lately, because a lot of days we're just hearing a lot of false accusations.
Well, a lot of times you hear just one side of the story too.
Yep. Oh, exactly.
They got a recent, very public feud that, not feud, but Jim Brewer's been very vocal about shit that he took from Data Cross.
Oh, no way.
And they've had words, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. David Cross looks like he could be a bit crusty. He plays a villain almost all the time, so. Yeah, well, it is what it is. I don't want to say too much in case I ever have to work with anybody. No. I mostly joke. I told you how much I've been loving the new Star Trek, like all of it, except for Discovery. I'm sorry, Discovery. I really tried, but you ran your course, and I'm happy it's over. But Picard, I think, has been killing it. I think the cartoons have been killing it, both Prodigy and Lower Decks. Strange New Worlds is great. And this season of Picard is some of the best Star Trek I think I've ever seen. And building off of that, Paramount Plus has announced that more Star Trek is coming our way, and it is Star Trek Starfleet Academy. So I'm down. I'm down. And the only reason why I'm down is because I watched so much of Star Trek The Next Generation and the flashbacks where they did of Picard when he was back in school or in Starfleet Academy. Wesley was in Starfleet Academy. There is going to be some good stories. And I don't know which way they're going to go. Part of me really, really hopes they go kind of like the modern day version of fucking Revenge of the Nerds, sort of, with whatever the 25th century's fucking version of panty raids are. Not panty raids in particular, but whatever, because those movies, that was like the thing then. So whatever the modern day version of that is, doesn't have to be sexual, just has to be.
I know that's you, Tommy Turner.
Right. I know that's you, Spock. Oh, yeah, I'm down. And especially the way that they've been going with Star Trek lately, have you watched Lower Decks?
No.
I know it's a cartoon, so probably not. It is fucking funny. They're doing a crossover this year too, where they're taking two characters from that and putting them in a live action Strange New Worlds, and it's the same actor, so that'll be fun. I don't know. Anyways, I'm geeking out here. I just wish you were more Star Trek, buddy. I do. I don't know. Your next story is this.
Yeah, we haven't even got in season 2 yet, but HBO is greenlighting season 3 of House of Dragon, and I think this is a no-brainer given season 1. I thought season 1 was great. I'm definitely highly anticipating season 2, so I'm glad this show is going to be around for a few seasons at least.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Yeah, I mean, I want to say I've seen it, but I haven't.
Don't lie. No, I meant don't lie and say you seen it when you didn't.
I hear that Matt Smith is great, but he was a great Doctor Who as well. So that's it. That's it. I'm glad you're liking it though, and I'm glad everybody else is liking House of the Dragon. And bring it all on. I'm happy. Somehow. Just trying to think of a way to segue. I just really can't. Can't keep a secret either. And we've seen our first photos. Sorry, not our first photos, but we saw our first photos a couple weeks ago from the set of Secret Invasion, and we got some more today. You see top left there, Samuel Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn playing Fury, and of course Talos. From the Skrulls there, we got Emilia Clarke top right, bottom left Olivia Colman, and bottom right, not sure who that dude is. But yeah, this is going to change the entire MCU because we don't know how long the Skrulls have been invading the MCU and how long they've been impersonating superheroes and people of government. And yeah, this is good. It's going to be pretty dope.
It's the lizard people all over again.
And they kind of look like lizards too, but they're not lizards. They're aliens.
Illegal aliens.
No. That was not young Elian Gonzalez. I guess he's not young anymore, eh?
No, he's probably not.
What happened to him?
I don't
Like,
know.
I know he went back. I know they sent him back.
Chances are he probably grew up.
Probably.
That's what I got.
I hope he's well. I hope he's well. But somebody who's, if for the few people who are still watching for some reason, if you know, let us know.
There is a small chance he didn't. And I don't mean dying. I just mean not growing up.
You mean like, you think he was like a little person?
Well, no, not a little person per se.
We should move on.
We should. Tom Savini is going to be involved with Camp Crystal Lake, coming to us from the good folks over at Peacock.
Peacock.
I think it's Peacock. Yeah, it's Peacock. I'm positive it's Peacock.
Yeah, why isn't it Blumhouse though?
Right. I know. I really wish Blumhouse would get their hands on Friday the 13th.
Why don't they just? Why doesn't Blumhouse just take every one of those properties?
They should just pull a Vince McMahon. Just buy out the competition.
Buy just the majors. Buy Freddy. Buy Jason. Buy Leatherface. Buy Mike Myers, and then have your contained universe. Oh my God. The Nightmare Avengers. Like it. I like it. I like it a lot. It could work. Remember Ed Harris?
I do.
He's still acting. And he's been added to the good old MCU as well. Joining the cast of Wonder Man, the new MCU series. I don't want to give a date for this show because the way things have been going with Bob Iger and everyone over there at Disney lately, no dates are assured of. So, and no shows are. But this one I am pretty sure will still happen, especially that we've got Ed Harris on board now. But yeah. We'll see. I know that they want to slow down on a lot of the stuff they're putting out though, and I think that's a bit of a good idea. I love seeing all the comic book stuff come out, but Bob Iger wants LucasArts to focus just on Star Wars, and make sure there's a movie that comes out every Christmas at least, and maybe a show every quarter. I'm down with that, and I think Marvel is going to be somewhat the same. And it's a good idea because you'll get better content that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and what else you got? You got one more here. You got a couple more here.
Yeah, man. It seems like every time we have to talk about Bam, not have to talk about, because I'm a fan. I was a fan. I am a fan. But the guy, every time we got to talk about it, it just seems to be trouble lately for the poor guy. And he was arrested for the second time this month. For public intoxication. It took place in a restaurant in Burbank, where the altercation was between him, his ex, and unfortunately his son was with her as well. So, I mean, we know he's tried to get help, and obviously it's doesn't seem to be helping yet.
No. And I don't mean to make fun, but first thing that popped in my head was the Ron White bit. I was drunk in the bar. They threw me in the public.
This is true.
Do you remember that bit? Yeah.
I don't remember that bit, but it sounds like a Ron White bit.
Well, he's talking about it was the tater tot story when he got thrown in the bar in New York.
Okay, I remember that.
He got arrested. They're like, you're drunk in public, and he's like, I was drunk in the bar, but they threw me in the public.
Yeah, Ron's great.
Yeah, definitely is.
I think he's semi-retired now.
Yeah. I think he quit drinking. Maybe. I feel like I heard something along those lines.
I think he's contained his drinking. I heard him on a podcast recently. I'm going to say within the last couple months. I can't remember whose it was, but yeah, he's only drinking like one thing now, as opposed to everything. So that's good.
Know your limits. Know your limits and live within them.
That's right.
All right. Well, that is strange, and that is
strange.
It's out there.
I can't do it. I'm parched. There we go. I left my theremin in the other room. I think that's what it's called.
How do you go from Black Panther to maybe?
Well, one of the driving forces behind Creed and both Black Panther movies is now putting his work at rebooting the X-Files.
Now, I forget who mentioned this in an interview, and it wasn't Coogler that said it, and it wasn't. I feel like it was Chris Carter I'm pretty sure it was Chris Carter they were talking to, not the Hall of Fame wide receiver for the Vikings, because all he does is catch touchdowns, but the creator of the X-Files. I believe he was asked in a podcast or an interview somewhere if there would be another, retelling or rehashing of the X-Files. And he said he didn't know. You'd have to ask Ryan Coogler. I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, Ryan Coogler is working on one right now. From what I've heard, though, I don't know if they've stepped those comments back or not, but I know it's not. It still hasn't quite been confirmed yet. What do you like? Where does Coogler go with this? What does Coogler's X-Files look like?
The articles I read said that they would be more diverse.
I mean, okay.
So
they should, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire FBI, not one person of color, I think, in the entire run that I've ever seen. Wow. How do they do undercover work if everybody's white?
Right.
I'm just saying.
Smart.
I'm something. Yeah, that was my last story too.
Tout fini.
Tout fini, mon ami. Yeah.
Sorry.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Yo!
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Yeah. I pity the fool that is surrounded by these two assholes, honestly.
Yeah.
But thank you, everybody, for joining. I think it was a pretty fun and productive show. I don't know how much I could emphasize this. If you're watching this on Friday and you wake up tomorrow, just remember, do not believe anything. It is April 1st, folks. Don't be the fool.
I'm down to one kid in the house. I'm running out of people to prank because I can't prank Facebook user.
Do not trust anything Steve says to you tomorrow either. Just saying. You probably shouldn't trust too much of what comes out of my mouth either. If you do, honestly, you've only got yourself to blame. Got anything else, brother?
That's it, man.
All right. What do you got going on next week? Anything?
No, just kind of doing some spring cleaning stuff. Did a dump run today, and
nice.
We'll be working soon. Seems like every day there's another great concert tour announcement, and it's breaking me, but I love it. So,
right on, man. Got to live the best life, right?
That's it.
That's it. All right, well, folks, I hope you had a good time today. Remember, if you are looking for cheap internet in your area, go over to docnet.ca. Let them know that RatG TV sent you. And, from this guy over here and this guy right over here, we're wishing you a very happy weekend. And don't play the